Hey guys, welcome back to Lolly Lovin' Life. I am thrilled to have you here with me on this journey. So turning 16 was a big deal. A lot of things happened at turning 16. I met the boy, got engaged, and started planning a wedding. I had left school and was still waiting for my test scores to come in for my GED. So busy working, thinking I knew everything, right? At 16 and 17, we know it all. We know what our life is supposed to be like. Nobody else can tell us, Yeah, And I know that more so now. As you get older, you look back and think, what was I thinking? Where was I? Why did I not listen to other people? But we just don't. We have our ways, and we keep doing our thing. I was very blessed to have a mom who was very talented. With the wedding, she was making everything. She made my dress, made silk flowers for all my bouquets and corsages, and even the wedding cake. We planned a simple wedding at my grandmother's backyard. And although I say simple, we were living in Florida at the time, and my grandmother was living in Smyrna, Georgia. So we had to do the planning long distance. But again, it worked out just fine. But meantime, there was a little voice in my head that kept saying, are you sure you should be doing this? Should you be getting married? Oh, yes, I was just nervous. Yes, get married. Do the things. You're going to be a wife at 17. You're going to have your place. You're going to get to do the big girl things. But in my still small voice, I kept hearing something telling me, are you sure? Are you really sure you should be doing this? And I didn't let it stop me. I kept going, and I went through all the motions. We had the wedding, we had the honeymoon, came back, and whoa, did life hit me square in the face. Things weren't like they seemed they were going to be in my head. They were way different, and a rude awakening to my soul. So, I had a very amazing support system around me. My family supported me. I didn't have anybody tell me, Laura, don't do this. Laura, you're young. You shouldn't be getting married at this age. What are you doing? Kind of weird. And when I think about it now, I'm thinking, well, why didn't they try to stop me? They should have tried to make me not do this kind of thing at this age. I should have waited. But they didn't. And I knew I'd have that support system throughout. And I learned so very much so once it all started. My family knew the struggles in the very, very beginning of the marriage. I didn't know I was marrying someone that was very controlling and would slowly take away who I was. I became just a thing. I became someone that was his object. At this age, how do you know what a wife is supposed to be? Yes, you've watched your mom and dad, and, I had a very loving mom and dad, respected each other, they loved each other, were good together and did things together. So I really didn't have a clue, though, my part and what I was supposed to be treated like or be like or, but I became submissive, and that was the wrong thing to do. I became someone that was controlled by him, my every single move. I could have walked out. I could have left it. I could have got out of it. But something in my head kept saying, no, Laura, stick with it. You can do this. You can change him, and things will be better. Just hang tight. You got this. And I didn't want anything like a divorce happening in our family because we just didn't have that in our family. So we struggled along, and he decided he wanted us to move to Connecticut. Wow, move that far away from my family? But I loved his family. He had an amazing family. And I'm like, okay, so we move. Well, meanwhile, jump back. I am 6 months pregnant. I had become pregnant not long after we got married. Probably 9 months after the marriage, I became pregnant with our first child. And we moved to Connecticut at 6 months pregnant. What a move. It was a very hard move because we did it all ourselves. And got ourselves to Connecticut, and we were living with his mom and dad on their property. This is a whole new story, a big new story for my life, because then things really, really started changing. I was in an unfamiliar place around really unfamiliar people, and yet in a marriage that was not a marriage, because yes, now I know what a true marriage is, and I can't wait to share about that as we journey through. But I was in a marriage that was not a marriage, and I'm like, I'm alone. What am I going to do? So let's hang out in Connecticut for a few days. We had a lot of things take place as living there for almost 3 years, and I look forward to seeing you back.